Good evening. We begin tonight at 5 o'clock with an update on breaking news we have been following in Salem. A shelter-in-place order has now been lifted related to a shooting near Salem Center Mall, and roads in the area are reopening now, too.
Live pictures from Sky 8 there, though. As far as we know, police are still searching for the shooter. Now, one person was hurt, suffering a gunshot wound. According to police, the victim is a male juvenile, though they are not specifying at this point how old. So let's bring in our Alma McCarty in Salem now. What is the latest on the ground where you are?
Well, David, Laurel, Salem police informing us really within the hour that there was, like you said, one victim in this case, somebody who was shot, though again, they are not specifying the age of that person at this time, but they did say that the victim was taken to the hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries and that he or she was found on this corner at High Streets and Chemeketa Streets in downtown Salem this afternoon. Now, police did clear out the mall. You can see some of them that are here behind me. They conducted what they called a thorough search of the premises and escorted employees safely out of that building. And again, one person shot. To be clear, this was not an active shooter situation, but a single event involving gunfire with no additional shots fired afterwards. As police were inside of the building, they did not locate any additional victims, and at this time, as you said, no suspect in custody, and we do not have a suspect description. Now, several officers responded to Salem Center Mall following reports of that shooting around 2:15. They blocked traffic and asked people nearby to shelter in place, including at a Salem Kaiser School's downtown learning center. Parents were urged not to pick up their children until an all clear was issued. As you said, that shelter in place has since been lifted, and at this time, since we have been in downtown Salem for just not very long, the traffic situation is not bad. It's moving freely. You can obviously see lots of crime scene tape up in this area, and the investigation is in fact ongoing. So if you do see a police presence, that is what they are here to do, investigating this shooting. We will have more details as we get them and update you on air and online. For now, live in Salem, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Thank you for that update, Alma, and we will continue to cover this breaking news situation as it develops. You can look for the latest here on air, on KGW.com, and on the KGW app.
Well, something else you should know about: new developments tonight surrounding an investigation at the Clark County Jail and a jail deputy's use of force that has been described by the sheriff's office as, quote, potentially criminal.
And that includes new video released today. Tim Gordon's at the Clark County Jail to walk us through it. Tim?
Yeah, Laurel, first we should note that the incident involving an inmate here at the jail happened in August of last year, but just came to light 8 days ago. So now we know there's both an internal and criminal investigation into deputies' use of force. We want to warn our viewers that some of the video in this story may be disturbing to watch. This is video from inside the Clark County Jail on August 13th, 2021. The sheriff's office says deputies in the maximum security unit were retrieving food trays from a cell they say housed an inmate with a history of violence, including previous assaults on corrections officers. But it is unclear what led to this takedown of the already cuffed inmate by a deputy and others eventually piling on. We do know Sheriff Chuck Atkins, after seeing this, was concerned enough to immediately place Corrections Deputy Robert Hanks on administrative leave and launch both internal and criminal investigations.
After watching the video, I think the force was a bit excessive.
Although not connected to this case, attorney Jason Kafoury has handled many other use of force cases. As for this one,
it's hard without knowing what was said to understand why the guards did what they did. But in general, it seemed, especially since he was cuffed, to be more force than was necessary.
But Kafoury's not surprised by what he sees here.
We just, as the public, got an eye-opening video because there was a video in this particular incident. But the reality is this is happening to people in jail all the time.
Another potentially concerning element is the use of tethers on the inmate and the force used by deputies to pull the jailed man's arms through his cell door opening to release the cuffs. Sheriff Atkins is asking for patience, saying it is vital we review and consider all the variables for the integrity of the investigation and not prejudge this incident based solely on the video. We've not been told the name of the inmate or whether he was injured. You can see him here, apparently checking his wrists and arms after the incident. Now, in terms of the criminal investigation, it was performed by the Pierce County Sheriff's Office. Its report is now in the hands of the Clark County prosecutor. He tells me he has a team looking at that now, but he's not sure how long it'll take for them to make a decision in terms of any charges. I want to let you know, too, we have these videos from this case up at kgw.com. David?
Certainly raises a lot of questions there. Tim Gordon reporting there. Thank you, Tim. Staying with policing in Washington here, Governor Jay Inslee has signed a bill rolling back part of the state's sweeping police reform legislation. The new bill makes it clear police can use force to stop suspects from running away while being questioned. Now, officer says the restrictions that were passed in 2021 left them unable to do so, and that meant police say potential suspects could simply ignore them and leave.
Today in the war in Ukraine, Russia launched its first airstrikes within the western city of Lviv. Until now, the city had been a haven for Western aid coming in and for refugees fleeing demolished cities in eastern Ukraine. Today, President Biden also held a high-stakes call with China's President Xi Jinping. The White House says the president warned the Chinese leader about helping Russia.
He also conveyed and described the implications and consequences if China provides material support to Russia.
In Moscow today, Russian President Vladimir Putin held a rally and doubled down on false claims about motivations for the war. The U.S. ambassador to the UN called Russia's disinformation a, quote, sign of his desperation. A Ukrainian man who lived in Vancouver for 20 years is now helping refugees back in his home country. He returned home last summer to work with local churches. Little did he know war would break out. Our Bryant Clerkley talked to him today, and Bryant, he really is doing a lot to help people in need.
He is, Laurel. Vladimir Vanger is in a town about 2 hours from the capital. He says thousands of refugees are coming through each day. Vanger says he's doing his best to supply food, water, gas, and housing for those refugees. He says some people have been hiding in their homes for days without food or water just to escape the bombs. Vanger says the need continues to grow as the war gets worse. He started this online fundraiser in order to provide more shelter, food, and other necessities for refugees. Vanger says he could have left with his family when the war started, but he decided not to.
We were helping at the church, and I mean, I couldn't leave all these people on their own. I mean, it would be betrayal to them. I couldn't leave. One of those people were facing the biggest challenges in their life.
Vanger says when the war is over, he thinks Ukraine will face a huge housing crisis because a lot of homes have been destroyed. He's also predicting an ongoing food shortage. So the need will continue to increase. Vanger's fundraiser has raised almost $20,000, and if you'd like to donate, we have a link on our website, kgw.com. Laurel.
Thank you, Brian. He's doing great work.
Well, it is yet another Portland staple, sign of the times. It is shutting down. This is the Roxy Diner, which announced this Sunday is going to be its last day. The owner says they've been losing money since the pandemic started. But the big blow, they say, came last year. The Roxy's building was sold to the Portland Housing Bureau. It's now looking to rehab the building, so it's evicting commercial tenants all by this October. The Roxy's owner said they tried, but they couldn't find another place to relocate. And all this added to staffing issues, too.
Try interviewing someone or hiring them when you have an eviction coming in a few months. Who's going to take that job? Staffing went from really difficult to impossible. And that affected, that had a domino effect on everything else.
You can just feel it. It's been a tough couple years. The Roxy first opened in 1994, so your last chance for anytime breakfast Sammys, or as the menu says, drinks for quenching of the thirst. I love it. Very creative menu before 5 o'clock on Sunday.